Alright, like always, you're going to disconnect your battery. So let's start with that. Obviously, I've already loosened it before. Start with the deck lid. To take off the deck lid, what you basically need to do is lower down the seats, and then the deck lid itself would pop out. Let me show you what that would look like back there. See how it doesn't have the part covering anymore? So that would come off. And then with your door panels, you would have to take off your door panels. Go check out the other video where I actually take them off. And it's pretty simple. So you could have the exposure right there of the speakers itself. Another reason why you also want to take off or disconnect your batteries is for the cables, like your power control mirrors, because those are expensive and you don't want to fry them. And same thing with you don't have to disconnect the driver's side, but you do have to disconnect the passenger side. Depending on where you bought your speakers, you will need some cables. And remember which one's positive and which one's negative to actually connect it. So I'm going to take off the rear speakers first and show you what I mean. So with mine, it has these weird bolts on it. I don't know if that's normal or not, but they don't actually go all the way through. So you could use a screwdriver, or I think they're going to be a 10 mil. I'm not completely sure. Alright, so yeah, I think these are a little bit weird. They are 10 millimeter, and I didn't even need to like have a ratchet. I just used this and took it off, and it was super easy. But like I was saying about the speakers, there you go. The bigger one's going to be the positive one, the smaller one's going to be the negative one. So all I have to do, since these were already installed, is just disconnect these, and I'll be able to connect them to the new set. But with yours, if you have your stock ones, you're probably going to have to cut the cable and add in these connections. Not completely sure, because I don't have the stock ones, but just a heads up, the cables will be included in your speakers depending on where you get them. Alright, hopefully you guys checked out the other video of how to remove the door panel, and you're at this step now. So all you really need, you don't need to take these off unless you're going with a bigger set of speakers, but I'm going with the same size, which is 6.5. And another thing to take into account, most people don't consider, is that the depth of the actual speaker. One good way of figuring it out is if you go to Pioneer, they have a search way of actually finding out what fits and what doesn't fit your stock setup. But to take off the front speakers, all you're going to need is a screwdriver. Okay, so I got all the 4 speakers out, and in case you didn't know, the SE models came with an amplifier in the back and tweeters in the front. So if I add the new speakers, so I'll basically have 4 tweeters, including these 2 would be 6 tweeters, and then 4 of the woofers. And so just gonna test it out. So there you go. You can hear the tweeters actually working. So yeah, there you go. The tweeters actually work, and they're not that bad. I would change them out, but in the future though. Alright, so I got the new speaker in here. That's the negative port, that's the positive port. All I have to do is connect it on there, adjust it so wherever I can connect it to, and screw it in, and that's that. That's all there is to it. Let me show you. I'm going to do it, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's already connected. Alright guys, so let me give you a quick rundown of what I actually did. Like you notice, everything's back in the car. Door panels are in, the deck lid back there is in. So let's start off with the front ones. Basically, when I installed them, like the last part you saw, I used the Pioneer screws and just screwed in the 4 screws and plugged in the positive with the negative, and you're done on that side. When it came down to the rear deck, like you guys saw the weird screws, I actually used the front screws from the OEM screws that come in with the car, and I actually used that to like screw in the rear speakers, and they actually held in pretty nicely. And also you have to plug in the positive and negative and you're done. And so let's go ahead and test out what these speakers actually sound like. So I got my aux and it has a Bluetooth on. Let me connect it here. Alright, I got it set up, so let's do this.
Shine like glitter. It's like a reflection. Shine like glitter.
So there you go, guys. That's how you install speakers in your S14. Pretty simple. Speakers are pretty simple to install. But like always, guys, check out my Instagram. It'll be right down below. And if you have any comments, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. And like always, like and subscribe, guys. Catch you in the next video. Peace out.